My parents gave our family business to my sister, while Mom said, "Jessica has vision. You're just good with your hands, not your brain." I stopped my 60-hour unpaid weeks and watched everything collapse. The crushing irony wasn't lost on me as I stared at the succession planning documents I'd discovered in Dad's filing cabinet. 8 years of building Thunder Automotive's reputation, working 70-hour weeks for $42,000 annually, while master mechanics with my skills typically earn $90,000, all because Dad convinced me I was investing in my future. Meanwhile, Jessica showed up 20 hours per week as social media manager, making $38,000 to post Instagram stories of cars I built, with captions subtly taking credit for my work. Thunder generates $1.2 million annually. I handle virtually every complex custom build personally. Frame-off restorations, modern LS swaps into classics, specialized racing components built from scratch. I also manage our 6-person crew, deal with difficult customers, coordinate suppliers, and run daily operations while Dad plays solitaire and takes long lunches. Jessica's biggest contribution was a TikTok video that got 50,000 views from teenage boys more interested in her appearance than our automotive expertise. But according to those documents, effective on Dad's 60th birthday next year, 100% ownership would transfer to Jessica, not shared ownership, not partnership. Everything I'd built would belong to someone who couldn't change her own oil. Worse yet, the employee transition plan detailed my termination 6 months after Jessica took control, reasoning that I'd be too expensive to maintain on staff. The betrayal cut deeper than anything I'd experienced. They weren't just stealing my business, they were stealing my identity. For 8 years, I'd been Tyler from Thunder Automotive. Every major custom build establishing our reputation was my design, my fabrication, my expertise. The business existed at its current success level, primarily because of work I'd done, relationships I'd built, reputation I'd earned through consistent excellence. What my family didn't understand was that their good with your hands son had developed strategic advantages they couldn't comprehend. My corporate consulting background before joining Thunder full-time had taught me crisis management and negotiation tactics. My business required maintaining relationships with lawyers, accountants, and strategic advisors. Most importantly, I had complete financial documentation of every project, every client relationship, every process improvement I'd implemented over 8 years. I spent the following month systematically preparing my departure while maintaining a normal facade. Every evening after closing, I documented my contributions, photographing custom builds I designed and fabricated, copying customer testimonials mentioning my work specifically, creating a comprehensive portfolio demonstrating exactly how much of Thunder's success was directly attributable to my skills. More strategically, I reached out to our supplier network. These relationships I'd built over years weren't just business contacts. Many had become genuine friends who respected my expertise. When I mentioned considering starting my own shop, the response was overwhelmingly supportive. "Tyler, if you go out on your own, you'll have my business immediately," said our engine builder. "You're the only person at Thunder who actually understands what we do, and you always know exactly what you want." My real ace was Marcus Webb, who owned Thunder's biggest regional competitor, Webb Performance. Marcus had been recruiting me for years, regularly telling me I was wasting my talents. When I laid out the succession plan situation, his reaction was immediate. "Jesus Christ, Tyler, after everything you've built there, that's messed up, even by family business standards." Marcus offered me a partnership, 40% ownership of a new division called Webb Custom Works, plus $85,000 annual salary with performance bonuses. "I'll hold off announcing the division for a couple months. When you're ready to make your move, we'll launch with comprehensive marketing, highlighting your experience. Your reputation will follow you, and their best clients will follow your reputation." Perfect. Not only would I land financially secure, but I'd be gutting Thunder's most profitable business. High-end custom clients who specifically sought my expertise would have every reason to follow me to Webb Custom Works. I also contacted Jake Patterson, the tech entrepreneur whose 3 street rods I'd built the previous year. When I explained my plans, his response was enthusiastic. "Tyler, you're an artist with engines and metal. Any shop you start will have my full support and referrals." I'll make sure everyone in my network knows where to find you. The confrontation came at our monthly family dinner. After Mom served apple pie, I spread the succession planning documents across the dining room table. I found something interesting in your office, Dad, I said, voice steady despite my pounding heart. Dad went white. Mom gasped. Jessica got this calculating expression, not surprised, but figuring out how much I knew. What were you doing in my office? Dad asked defensively. Looking for insurance paperwork, but I found this instead. Care to explain why I'm learning about ownership transfer from confidential legal documents? Deafening silence. Mom started crying quietly. Dad refused eye contact. Jessica actually rolled her eyes like this was inconvenient for her. Look, Tyler, Dad finally said, this is just business. Jessica needs financial security more than you do. You've got skills to start your own shop. Skills I learned here, I replied. Building a business you're handing to someone who doesn't know the difference between a carburetor and catalytic converter. I know more about this business than you think, Jessica snapped. I understand customer relations, marketing, business development. You just work on mechanical stuff. Just the mechanical stuff. 8 years of building their reputation, and I just work on mechanical stuff. Customer relations? I laughed bitterly. Like when you told Mrs. Henderson her Corvette would be done in 2 weeks when you knew it would take 6. I dealt with her calling daily for a month, screaming about broken promises. That's not my fault you guys work so slowly, Jessica shrugged. That broke something inside me. I work slowly, Jessica. I've personally designed and built 80% of every custom project this shop has completed in 5 years. You couldn't build a go-kart if your life depended on it. Tyler, Mom yelled. Don't talk to your sister like that. My sister who's inheriting everything I built while planning to fire me 6 months later? The dead silence told me everything. They all knew about the termination plan. It's not personal, Dad said quietly. Jessica needs to run things her way. Having you there might be confusing. Confusing. My presence would be confusing to the new owner. I stood up, looking at each of them. You know what's actually confusing? How you can sit here pretending this is business strategy when you're literally stealing 8 years of my life's work. We're not stealing anything, Jessica said coldly. It's Dad's business. He can do whatever he wants with it. You're absolutely right, I replied, which means I don't owe it anything anymore. I walked out and never returned for another family dinner. For the next 4 weeks, I maintained complete normalcy at work while systematically executing my departure strategy. I documented everything, secured my new position, and built relationships that would follow me. Then I chose a Friday afternoon for maximum chaos. At exactly 4 p.m., I walked into Dad's office and placed my resignation letter on his desk. Effective immediately, I am resigning from my position at Thunder Automotive. Today will be my final day. His head snapped up, face cycling through confusion, disbelief, anger, and panic. You can't just quit. We've got the Henderson restoration, the Patterson project, the Mustang turbo build. You'll figure it out. Or Jessica will. She is going to be the owner after all. This is ridiculous. You're being emotional and irrational. You made your position very clear about my future role, I said, cleaning out my toolbox. Within an hour, my phone was ringing constantly. Dad called 6 times. Mom called, crying. Even Jessica called, probably her first work-related contact ever. I let everything go to voicemail. The weekend was absolute chaos. Saturday morning, they had 3 major projects requiring my expertise, and suddenly nobody could handle complex fabrication work. Dad tried getting other mechanics to cover, but they were parts installers, not custom fabricators. Carlos called Saturday evening. Dude, it's chaos. Your dad spent all day rescheduling appointments, explaining to customers why their cars won't be ready. Jessica showed up for an hour, took selfies, then left when she realized there was actual work. Monday morning, Dad appeared at my apartment at 6 a.m., looking like he hadn't slept. You've made your point. Come back and we'll figure this out together. Figure what out? You've already decided the company's future. We can change the succession plan, make you a partner, maybe 50-50 ownership with Jessica. Now you want to make me a partner after I quit? After your golden child proved she can't handle one day without me? She's learning. She needs time and experience. Time to learn what? The difference between a wrench and screwdriver? Dad, she couldn't assemble IKEA furniture, let alone run a custom shop. He looked defeated. What do you want? Name your terms. I don't want anything from you. I'm done with Thunder. That's when I delivered the knockout punch. Oh, and Dad, Web Performance is announcing their new custom fabrication division next week. Guess who's running it? The color drained from his face. He knew exactly what that meant for Thunder's business. Tyler, you can't do that. That's betrayal of everything we built together. No, Dad. Betrayal is what you did to me. This is just business. The next 6 weeks were pure entertainment. I started at Web Custom Works with incredible workspace, new equipment, unlimited budget for specialized tools, and complete creative freedom. Meanwhile, Thunder Automotive collapsed faster than a house of cards. Carlos became my unofficial source of daily chaos updates. Week 1. Dude, they've had to reschedule or cancel 12 appointments because Jessica tried handling customer consultations alone. She quoted a complete suspension rebuild as 4 hours of labor. 4 hours. She literally thought a full suspension rebuild would take 4 hours. Week 2. Remember that twin-turbo Mustang build for the pharmaceutical rep? Jessica told the customer it would add at least 300 horsepower, maybe 400 if we really dial it in. Now he wants performance guarantees in writing, and she's panicking because she has no idea what turbo setup can actually deliver. Week 3. They lost the Patterson referral. Jessica showed up to consultation wearing club clothes, spent the entire meeting taking selfies with his car, asking if she could post them on Instagram. He walked out halfway through and called Web Performance that afternoon. When Web Custom Works officially launched, the response was immediate and overwhelming. Within 48 hours, 6 of Thunder's biggest clients called, scheduling consultations with us. These weren't small jobs. We're talking $75,000 plus custom builds that would have been Thunder's primary revenue for the next 8 months. Dad called that Thursday evening, desperation clear in his voice. Tyler, this isn't right. You're actively trying to destroy everything we've built. I'm not trying to destroy anything, Dad. I'm just giving customers what they want. Quality work from someone who actually knows what he's doing. These were our clients first. We've had relationships with some of these people for years. Had relationships, past tense. Because when Mr. Patterson called Thunder asking about his Chevelle project, Jessica told him you guys were too busy for small projects right now. So he called us instead. Funny how customer service works. The silence was deafening. Tyler, we're family. This isn't how family treats each other. You're absolutely right, Dad. Family doesn't secretly plan to fire each other. Family doesn't exclude each other from major life decisions. Family doesn't take credit for each other's work while planning to throw each other away when convenient. 2 weeks later, Jessica had her first major catastrophe. She'd convinced some young guy with more money than automotive knowledge to let her project manage a complete LS engine swap into his vintage Camaro. Jessica treated it like directing a movie instead of managing complex mechanical work. She decided to live stream the entire build process on Instagram, providing running commentary about how easy engine swaps are and how she was totally in charge. The problem was, she kept giving mechanics incorrect instructions, insisted they use wrong parts because they looked cooler on video, and turned what should have been a 3-day job into a 2-week nightmare of corrections and repairs. The final disaster came when she insisted they paint the engine bay bright pink because it would totally pop on social media and get us tons of viral attention. The customer completely lost his mind, seeing what they'd done to his classic car, threatened to sue for damages, and demanded full refund plus compensation for decreased vehicle value. Dad had to eat $18,000 in labor and parts costs just to make the situation disappear quietly. Carlos called that evening, barely controlling his laughter. Dude, she's officially banned from the shop floor now. Your dad literally told her she's not allowed to interact with customers or mechanics anymore. She's confined to social media posting only, and even that has to be approved before going live. But the hits kept coming. 4 more major clients followed Patterson's Chevelle to Web Custom Works. Thunder's revenue dropped nearly 50% compared to the previous year, losing customers weekly as word spread about their quality and reliability problems. The ultimate destruction came from Jessica's own desperate attempt to save the business she was about to inherit. As the company continued its death spiral, she became increasingly frantic about finding solutions to restore their reputation and bring back lost customers. Her brilliant plan was leveraging what she saw as her greatest asset, her social media following. She'd built about 50,000 Instagram followers over the past few years, mostly young men more interested in her appearance than automotive expertise. Jessica convinced herself this made her a marketing genius who understood the modern marketplace better than anyone. She spent $25,000 of company money without consulting Dad to hire a Los Angeles-based influencer marketing company, promising to revolutionize Thunder's brand presence and create viral content that would transform the business. The campaign was everything you'd expect from people who'd never actually worked on cars. They rented exotic sports cars Thunder had never worked on, hired Instagram models to pose in bikinis while holding tools they couldn't identify, and produced an incredibly cringeworthy video where Jessica pretended to rebuild an engine while wearing designer clothes and full makeup. The video was supposed to go viral and bring floods of new customers attracted to Thunder's lifestyle brand approach to automotive customization. Instead, it got absolutely destroyed by the actual car community. The comment section was brutal, real enthusiasts calling Thunder a poser shop run by social media wannabes, questioning whether they could actually build anything more complex than the fake setup shown. The real disaster happened when the video caught attention of an automotive blogger who decided to fact-check Thunder's claims about their previous work. This guy was thorough, digging deep into the company's history and cross-referencing Jessica's social media posts with actual project documentation. He published a detailed investigation titled Thunder Automotive's Instagram, Princess Takes Credit for Brother's Work, that included side-by-side comparisons of Jessica's posts, claiming credit for various builds, versus documentation, proving I had actually done all design and fabrication work. The article went viral within the automotive community, getting shared across every major car forum, Facebook group, and YouTube channel. Several automotive trade publications picked it up, and popular YouTube channels focusing on industry drama mentioned it. Within a week, Thunder Automotive had gone from respected local shop to nationwide joke representing everything wrong with social media culture, invading authentic automotive craftsmanship. The reputational damage was catastrophic and immediate. Existing customers started canceling projects and demanding refunds. Suppliers began requiring cash payments up front, instead of extending the net 30 terms Thunder had enjoyed for years. Even basic customers started taking oil changes and routine maintenance elsewhere because they didn't want association with the fake Instagram shop. 3 weeks after the video published, Thunder Automotive was essentially bankrupt. They couldn't make payroll, couldn't pay suppliers, and had no customers willing to trust them with significant projects. Dad was forced to lay off 4 of 6 mechanics, keeping only Carlos and one other guy for the handful of basic repair jobs still coming in. That's when Dad called me. For the first time in our entire relationship, he wasn't angry or demanding or manipulative. He was begging. "Tyler, please, I need your help. We're going to lose everything." "I'm sorry to hear that, Dad, but I don't see how that's my problem anymore. You could come back, we could start over together. I'll give you full ownership of whatever's left." Jessica has agreed to step away completely. Step away to what? Another influencer marketing disaster? Dad, she just spent $25,000 to turn your business into a national laughingstock. That's not a mistake or learning experience. That's complete incompetence. She knows she messed up. She's learned her lesson. Her lesson cost you the entire business. Why would I want to inherit a sinking ship with no customers, no reputation, and no money? The desperation in his voice was painful. "Tyler, we're going to lose the shop. We're going to lose the house. Everything your grandfather built. Everything I've worked for my entire adult life. Your mother, this stress is killing her. She's been crying every day for 2 months." "That's really unfortunate, Dad. But you made your choices when you decided Jessica was more valuable than the son who actually built your business." "I was wrong. I was completely wrong about everything. You were right about Jessica, right about the business, right about everything. I should have listened to you years ago. You should have included me in succession planning from the beginning instead of secretly arranging to steal my life's work. I know I messed up, but we're still family. Can't we find a way to work this out?" That weekend, Thunder Automotive officially closed permanently. Dad couldn't make final payroll, couldn't pay outstanding supplier invoices, and had no realistic prospect of generating enough revenue to continue operations. 35 years of business gone in less than 8 months. The final insult came when they had to auction all shop equipment to pay pressing debts. I went to the auction and bought back my old fabrication tools for about 20% of their actual value. The same tools I'd used to build Thunder's reputation were now mine, legally and officially purchased from the wreckage of the business that had tried to discard me. Dad was there watching them auction his life's work piece by piece. When he saw me buying the equipment, he completely broke down. "Tyler, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry about everything. You were right about Jessica, right about the business, right about everything I should have done differently. She never understood what we actually do here, never cared about the craftsmanship or customer relationships. She just wanted the money and status." "Where is Jessica now?" I asked. "Gone. She moved to Los Angeles with some influencer boyfriend she met through that marketing company. She hasn't called or texted since the business closed. Left us with all the debt and problems she created." Mom came over with tears streaming down her face. "Tyler, honey, please. Your father made terrible mistakes, but we're still family. We're losing our house. We don't have any retirement savings left. Can't we figure out some way to work together again?" I looked at both of them, broken, defeated, facing bankruptcy because they'd chosen the wrong child to bet their future on. Part of me felt sorry for them, but a larger part remembered 8 years of being taken for granted. 8 years of sacrificing my needs for their benefit. 8 years of building something I thought would be mine someday. "You made your choice 8 years ago, when you decided I wasn't worth including in succession planning discussions. You made it again when you decided to fire me after handing the business to Jessica. And you made it every single day when you praised Jessica for work I did while paying me half what I was worth." "We can start over," Dad pleaded. "We can rebuild together. I've learned my lesson." "No, we can't, because I already rebuilt, and I did it without you." I left them there at the auction and never looked back. Web Custom Works is now the premier high-end automotive customization shop in our region. We're booked solid for the next 10 months, have a waiting list stretching over a year for major projects, and just hired our 8th full-time fabricator. Marcus offered to sell me an additional 20% ownership stake, and my annual earnings are now approaching $140,000 plus profit sharing. My parents lost their house and had to file for bankruptcy protection. Dad eventually found work at a chain oil change facility making $16 per hour. Quite a step down from owning a successful business. Jessica's influencer dreams crashed when her boyfriend dumped her, and her follower count tanked after the Thunder scandal became widely known. Last I heard, she was working at a restaurant and living with roommates in a cramped apartment. Sometimes the best revenge isn't getting even. It's showing people the true cost of their choices while building something better without them.